Okay, so we need to talk about this update. Overall, it's a mess. Uh, there's changes that will affect all traders, and there are changes that will affect big traders specifically. So, first off, covering the stuff that affects the big traders, which is people over 350 mil gems. All of your gems above 350 mil have been converted into corrupted gems, which corrupted gems can only get these items. These items are completely untradeable. They look nice. They should have been used as a seasonal pack item, but they can't be traded. So your account value is essentially deleted and given to you back in untradeable items that you probably don't want. So big nerf to big traders. All of the pure gem traders that exist will most likely quit the game. So because again, they just had their account deleted for no reason by mods and developers, which I view as a problem. I would expect a lot of people to quit. It's very unfair. It's bad game design. It doesn't improve the experience for traders. For all of us that are friends with these players, they're probably going to be quitting. And then if they quit, there's a lot of us that will quit because our friends are quitting the game too. The player base is already struggling a bit. We're hitting, 8,000 players off what I've been seeing. For context, when 2.0 launched, we were at about 15K. So player base isn't doing very well. Doing more changes like this isn't a good idea. I really like the update that added the hub. The hub helped with lag quite a bit. 3v3 ranked got a lot of people to play ranked. The only issue was solo ranked should have been still a feature in the game. So, that update was overall good. I liked it. The new champion was interesting. Now, he was broken on launch, but he's fixed now. So, we had a pretty good update, and then this follows it right after, and this is probably going to kill off trading if they double down and view this as a good update. Side note, we don't know if the S grades of these items will have poses. The devs have not said anything on that I've seen. So I wouldn't recommend S grading them. They'll probably not have poses. The issue is if Winter Scythe is, a godly in the corrupted pack and comes with backlash, then that's going to be its own issue, and the pose prices are going to drop a ton. So overall, it's a mess. Pure gem traders, again, just heavily nerfed. If you had all items, let's say you had, a full inventory of champ sites and S grades, or just items that aren't, gems, then you're safe. Nothing happens to you. But it's a very backward way of dealing with it, and you're punishing a lot of the players that aren't part of the problem. So it's it should be reverted. Just off of the experience of the players and the health of the game, this is not how you handle inflation. It's not good for anyone. So they should understand that if they're deleting gems off of an innocent player's account, that's not okay, and that's not how you handle a trading system. So getting into the actual changes, again, they are increasing a minimum gem price for certain items. I haven't seen enough to know whether this is good or bad. I'd keep an eye on it. I would expect it to need to be fixed for many items and it not to work quite how they intended. They've added a massive tax. So if you're trading under 1 million, the tax will be reduced to 1%. So if you're doing very, very small trades, it's good. But if you're doing anything from 1 to 10 million or higher, it's going to be awful. So for everyone that trades actively, this update essentially nerfs it to where you can't profit from trading anymore. So we're making free to play trading way less fun and just kind of cutting the whole reason to do it. Not good. Uh we're making legacy orbs harder to get because a lot of people buy the legacy orb bundles and then they'll sell them as gems. And we already have the issue of we need a higher supply of items. So by making them untradeable, you're making the supply of items lower. So prices should go up because of this. We're decreasing supply off of this, and we're increasing tax. So again, supply and demand staying the same, besides the people that are going to quit the game because of this. But a lot of people aren't going to be buying these bundles anymore, so a lot less Divine Shadows and, the expensive Legacy Orb items will be created because of this. So, very probably going to be a pretty bad change. I'm sure they're doing this because of some other issue, but for the health and enjoyment of trading, you would leave Legacy Orbs tradable. There's no world that making Legacy Orbs rarer is going to help people enjoy trading. And then all of the cosmetic shop items are going to be untradeable. You can only sell them in booths. Again, there being less options to trade is bad. It's just objectively worse for the game. And then this is one of the main things that will affect the largest amount of players. If you want to remove a finisher, pose, kill effect, or aura off of your item, you now have to pay the devs gems. I believe it's going to be 700,000 gems. So essentially, you're paying $1 to remove a finisher off of your item. I'm assuming that you're getting your gems from the bundle because a lot of people don't enjoy trading. But that's not good. We shouldn't have to pay for a 2.0 feature that's been in the game for free. There's no reason that it needs to cost real money. So that should be reverted. If they stand by their very backward way of fixing the inflation problem, that's one issue. But this is just a purely greedy thing that has no business being changed. So that's not good. And then essentially, this is what they're doing. They're saying to justify the changes. 150 to 200 users were affected by the gem dupes that happened months ago. So less than 200 people had duped gems in their account. And the way that they deal with this is by just deleting gems off of anyone's account that has over 350 mil. So realistically, the people that have those gems aren't being punished as much as the people that don't have those gems. Also, this does hit some people under 350 mil. I was in a clan voice call and someone that had like 3 million had, I think, all of their gems deleted or turned into corrupted. So I might be wrong on that, but it doesn't sound like this is going very well. And this is probably going to be a big mess that they have to fix. And then they say we need to get rid of the dupe gems from the economy. Again, this doesn't make the game more enjoyable. It doesn't improve the experience. Now, they shouldn't have been created in the first place, but these are fixing dev problems, not player problems. Player concerns are, can I afford my items? Can I have fun in trading? Dupe gems don't really impact us. If we're having stuff deleted out of our accounts, we don't enjoy it. And if we can't buy things we want to get, that affects us. Those are the only things that matter. And then for, me changing my item, if I want to take a pose off of one item and move it to another item, it hurts my experience to have to pay gems instead of crystals. So unless you're making it objectively cheaper, you're making the experience worse. So really, really bad changes. It doesn't fit their goals at all and doesn't make sense. So hopefully they understand that and they listen to the community and revert it because objectively they're bad changes. There's much better ways to deal with all of these problems. And then they say they're big changes, but we had to do something to improve the experience. Again, you're making legacy orbs rare, so the supply of items is going to be a bigger issue. So Divine Shadow, as an example, just focus on Divine Shadow to make it easy. You're making it so less people will buy legacy orbs, and they're more expensive because now people are less likely to buy the cheap bundles of them and sell them to other players. So less mythics being generated, they're all more expensive. Like I don't see the benefit here. You're making it rarer and demanding more money out of people. Nothing about that improves the experience. And as far as inflation goes, if you're, they're randomly deleting gems off of accounts, so yes, there's going to be less gems, but the supply doesn't change. And again, gems aren't easier to make, so I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. This isn't really addressing the inflation. This is more addressing the devs not getting the money they want out of items and then randomly adding this to where they make more money off of systems that they've already created. So it's a lot more about squeezing more money out of the player base and demanding that the users pay more to enjoy their systems than it is about the health of the game or the quality of the experience. So I hope they get that and they revert it off of it. I'll make a video about how to fix trading, but if their goals are to improve the experience and they want to deal with the dupe issue, there are much better ways to deal with this. So I hope they listen to the player base. I hope that they revert the changes. Um, they need to give people their gems back they paid for. If people bought gem bundles and they bought, let's say hundreds of dollars of gems and they were just deleted, I'm worried that'll also be a legal issue. No idea how that stuff works, but that might be a problem. So they might need to revert it just off of that alone. And then they should probably just give us corrupt items as compensation for this mistake, is my opinion. Just give us corrupt items, and then hopefully the community is willing to overlook it. But that's, this shouldn't have happened as an update. I think they'd be smart to run more of the changes past the community, because if they even talk to anyone in trading about, hey, we're thinking about, adding a 10% trading tax, we're thinking about deleting, you know, just gems off of people's accounts. I don't think the community would have ever said that that's a good idea. And objectively, I think it's bad for the game, and anyone could have told them that. So hopefully they fix it and they see what they did wrong, but we'll see what happens. But that's it for today. So have a good one.